Assassin's Creed Shadows is an important game for Ubisoft, a company that feels as though it's lost its way over the last decade. It's saddled with the weight of huge expectation from all corners. Assassin's Creed Shadows doesn't just need to be a great game, it also needs to be a runaway success if it's going to save Ubisoft from falling further into financial hot water. Rarely has a AAA title launched with so much at stake, and for Ubisoft, it's all riding on the edge of a hidden blade. Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in the late 1500s towards the end of the Sengoku period, a time of widespread civil war across Japan. Brought together after becoming ensnared in the same web of Machiavellian bloodsport that is politics in feudal Japan, young shinobi Naoe and outsourced samurai Yasuke form an unlikely alliance and friendship. Naoe and Yasuke are the rare Assassin's Creed leads that demonstrate distinct playstyles. As a shinobi, Naoe plays much the way you expect an AC lead to play. She's better at stealth and can use her skill set to access places Yasuke can't. The game finally grants Naoe the long-awaited ability to lie prone when needed, and grants her a grappling hook for quickly climbing tall towers or trees. She also has access to an array of thieves' tools like shuriken, distraction bells, smoke bombs, and kunai. Using these tools help Naoe create opportunities for slipping by unnoticed or opening an unwary opponent's throat in the long grass. Yasuke, by contrast, felt like I was playing as one of the game's heavily armoured enemies. Because he's 2 feet taller and wider than anyone around him, Yasuke feels like a giant in a world that's slightly too small for him. He's a wrecking ball in a country where poison-dipped civility is the norm. He tears through everything that stands before him. Guards, doors, the pride of would-be warlords looking to gain an advantage, everything. This is a pleasant change from other AC titles like Valhalla or Odyssey, which featured a male or female version of the same character. Choosing one or the other had no effect on their inherent skills or abilities. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, the difference is stark. It also adds some sorely needed friction to the game's overall design. Yasuke can't do the things that Naoe does, and the same is true for her. Brawling with Naoe takes much longer because she doesn't possess his strength. Yasuke can't climb tall towers to reach synchronization points. That job falls to Naoe and her grappling hook. Thankfully, you can switch between the two at any time. This design choice may frustrate some players, but I quite like it. Like a lot of modern blockbusters, the Assassin's Creed franchise has become a model of big budget polish. Any jagged edge or point of annoyance has been sanded down to avoid irritating the player in any way. This design choice reintroduces a little extra friction, and personally, I'm alright with it. Assassin's Creed Shadows makes a few changes to the traditional mission screen, replacing sequential headings with what I can only describe as a flowchart for murders. The center of this flowchart comprises a syndicate of major influential targets ripe for a neck stabbing. Each of them requires a bit of detective work to unmask, completing side quests to piece together their identities and locations. These side quests lead to smaller connected syndicates that must also be dispatched before you can get back to stabbing the ringleaders. Representing your progression visually rather than a text-based screen of active or completed quests is an interesting way to refresh the objective screen. Now that I've got my head around it, I really like it. It's a neat way to show the player at a glance what's been done and what hasn't. My primary gripe with Assassin's Creed Shadows is its combat, which forms the spine of the experience, particularly when playing as Yasuke. Ubisoft has run with a Souls-adjacent style of chip and move combat since the Origins reboot of 2017, but it's never been much more than a pale imitation. For me, Shadows is the game where Ubisoft should have honed the combat to a finer edge. Instead, I found myself growing more agitated by how mushy and inconsistent it felt. Your counter is one of your best methods for cleaving through a fight, and it's the move that felt the least consistent to me. Counters that felt like they'd been perfectly timed seemed like they had about a 60 to 70% success rate. Match the startling beauty of Tsushima's all-timer Hall of Fame title sequence, but the time you spend riding across its varied terrain will have you stopping to look at the details. Japan is a challenging country to navigate, politically and geographically. Shadows illustrates this connection beautifully, rolling hills and dense forest giving way to wide rivers, tiny villages, and even the sprawling, already densely populated streets of Kyoto. There's no path between population centers that's easy to travel, the undulating roads frequently disappearing into long grass or getting lost among the hills in ways that help sell the idea that this is a country that has been lived in for tens of thousands of years. Every part of it has been lived in or built on or traveled through before, and the marks of its history are everywhere. In all other respects, Assassin's Creed Shadows feels like one of the better realized entries in the franchise's post-reboot canon. It certainly isn't ambitious, never straying far from the beaten path. Almost every task I took on was one I've been doing in Assassin's Creed games since 2008. One might think that would quickly lead to boredom, and yet I found myself some 40 hours in, comfortably numb and doing a roaring trade in politically motivated first-degree murder. Despite this, Shadows does exhibit the little flourishes of a team desperate to disrupt the now entrenched open-world formula. In the strictly controlled world of AAA games where every success must be replicated to a T, this gentle pulling on the leash goes a long way with me. The question now becomes, will Shadows hold its own once the Tsushima sequel Ghost of Yotei drops later this year? time's going to tell on that one. For what it is and what it's trying to do, Assassin's Creed Shadows gets a play from me.